Pledge Drive. All right. Sorry, everybody, but it's Pledge Drive, and this is week number 2 of the Fall Pledge Drive. This is the way that we get the people who distribute our show paid. And the people who distribute our show are people who work for the network Free Speech TV. Now, Free Speech TV is located in Denver, Colorado, and there are about 16 people that work there on any given day. And those people do all kinds of work, everything from accounting to tech stuff to coordinating pledge drive money and, running the place and keeping the relationships with DirectTV and Dish Network alive and well, the relationship we have with AppleTV and Roku and Sling. Okay, so it takes about 16 people to run our little network, and it's not for profit. And so that means they take no advertising and they take no political money and they take no corporate money. And the only thing that keeps us going is you. So every quarter we have a pledge drive. This is the Fall Pledge Drive. Hope that explains why we do this and that we have to do it. And because we have to do it, we're going to ask you to donate if you can. If you like Free Speech TV, if you watch it, then we would love to hear from you today. Freespeech.org is how you get us online. If you'd like to use the phone, by all means, dial 877-378-8669. There are things that you could have as little thank you gifts for different levels of commitment. If you, want to become a sustaining member, by all means do it. You can do that anytime you like, meaning you'll give $5 or $10 every single month. So maybe we wouldn't have to yell at you or interrupt your fabulous programming as much as we do. So there's that. You could also text FSTV to 44321. And in exchange for you do that, and they'll send you a secure link where you can donate on your phone. So thank you very, very much. We appreciate anything that you're able to do today and every day to keep Free Speech TV on the air. All right. So the thought goes like this. We had a moment of unity. America got divided because of our need to go to war with a country that had nothing to do with the attack that we all saw on a crisp Tuesday morning 20 years ago. 20 years later, we're actually having a hearing today, where the Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, has to testify to Congress about why Joe Biden decided to end the 20-year war. It's so crazy how long this has lasted. Those wars have divided us. The ensuing terrorists that grew out of our torture and our maiming, mangling, and mutilating innocent Iraqis who did nothing to us at all. We killed about 1 million of them, all of this has taken 20 years to unfold. But now we know. Biden has no fear of the Saudis because Biden knows what the future is. And the future is exactly what I said it was 20 years ago. And that is to make what the Saudis have worthless. And the way to do that is to invest in renewables. The way to do that is to build back better. The way to do that is to put the money in America in jobs for the future. And that is what the $3.5 trillion package is. Now, it sounds like a ridiculous amount of money because $3.5 trillion is a ridiculous amount of money. However, that $3.5 trillion is not going to be spent in a year or two. It's over 10 years. It's a long-term investment, which is about $350 billion a year, which is half of what we spend for a defense that can't defend us when the people who are president of the United States of America make deals with countries that have something that we think is relevant to our way of life, like oil. And so our job has been and continues to be to build back better without having to rely on any damn body for any damn thing. And that is why Joe Manchin is so infuriating. Joe Manchin is in the pocket of fossil fuels, as you know. Now, I'll tell you, the coal-fired power plants hardly exist anymore. And this is for the partisan people who really want to, just disregard everything I'm saying for some stupid reason. here's what you really need to understand. Between the Obama administration and the Trump administration, yeah, Trump lied a lot, said we dig coal. You know, Democrats try to tell you the truth. They try to tell you about, our rugged individualism. They try to tell you about how we shouldn't be relying on other countries to power us. They try to tell you our grid is faulty. They try to tell you that there are Republican governors who won't invest a nickel in their own state grids, who won't bury the cable lines, who won't, get rid of the wood poles that get blown over during every storm. They just won't invest in their own damn states. And Republicans, Democratic presidents have tried to tell you for a really long time that America needs to be energy independent, right? Trump lied. Oh, yeah, we're energy independent. Trump lied. Oh, for the first time, we're energy. Trump lied about Saudi and, relying on their oil. He lied about gasoline. He lies about everything. Okay. It's what he is. He's a liar. Meanwhile, he said, we dig coal. We're going to put coal miners back to work. Right. Remember that? Between Obama and Trump, over 500 coal-fired power plants. I think the right number is 540. Have been decommissioned between those two presidents. One Democrat, one Republican, one told you the truth, one lied about it, but they both did it. And so now what we have is a process by which coal-fired power plants get decommissioned, right? And they're going through these years-long processes which have to do with cleanup and coal ash. But you know what? These coal-fired power plants can be repurposed. They can be retrofitted. And where they are is really important because coal-fired power plants are in West Virginia, near rivers, near highways, near rail tracks, because they had to ship the coal. And so they have the infrastructure to disseminate energy. And now that they've been decommissioned, we can retrofit them. We can build them back, but build them back better. But that's where the money is going to go. And Joe Manchin doesn't care about West Virginia or creating jobs there. Joe Manchin cares about donors. Joe Manchin cares that he has enough money to bamboozle West Virginians into believing that somebody else is doing it to them. As a Democrat. And Joe Manchin has got some Democrats thinking, unconvincingly if you ask me, that West Virginia can't do better than a Joe Manchin in a red state, that they couldn't elect another Democrat. I don't buy it. I don't think that's true. I think that's what Joe Manchin knows. And I think that's why Joe Manchin needs all this money, because Joe Manchin is terrified of a primary from the left. And Joe Manchin sits there and tells you, hey, you piss me off and I'll go to the Republican Party and then Mitch McConnell will be the majority leader again. I just don't think Joe Manchin can get reelected as a Republican because the Republicans will have absolutely no problem running a conservative against him who is seriously deranged, more Trumpian than Trump. And Joe Manchin couldn't survive a primary from a Republican, so Joe Manchin isn't going to quit the Democratic Party. Joe Manchin needs to be spoken to in a language that Joe Manchin understands, and that is re-election language. And Joe Manchin can be convinced, I think, of doing the right thing by West Virginians if everybody understood what the right thing for West Virginians could look like. And that would be retrofitting and repurposing these decommissioned coal-fired power plants. I promise you this